When does international humanitarian law apply to conflicts? Imagine a world where rules help protect those caught in the chaos of war. That's what international humanitarian law aims to do. But when exactly does it come into play? International humanitarian law applies only during armed conflicts, not during everyday violence or protests. It's a set of rules that kicks in when fighting reaches a certain level of violence. There are two main types of conflicts where these rules are relevant. The first is called international armed conflict. This happens when two or more states are involved in fighting. It can start from the moment one state declares war, or even if no formal declaration is made. The key point is that the conflict involves at least two countries fighting each other. The second type is non-international armed conflict. This occurs within a single country, usually between government forces and non-state armed groups, or sometimes between different groups within the same country. For IHL to apply here, the fighting must reach a certain level of intensity, and the groups involved need to be organized enough. This means that small clashes or protests generally do not fall under IHL, but serious conflicts with organized armed groups do. Determining whether a situation qualifies as an armed conflict is based on facts like how intense the fighting is and how organized the groups are. If the violence is serious enough, then IHL rules automatically apply, regardless of whether the conflict is recognized as legal or legitimate by the government. This is important because it means protections for civilians and prisoners of war are always in effect once fighting reaches that threshold. The rules are designed to protect people who are not fighting or who can no longer fight. Civilians, medical workers, and those injured or captured are all protected under IHL. It also limits the methods and weapons used during fighting to prevent unnecessary suffering. Even if a state claims a conflict is not a war, IHL still applies if the criteria are met. This includes situations like occupation or insurgencies. Sometimes conflicts can start as one type and change into another, or both types can happen at the same time. In the end, IHL applies whenever there is an armed conflict that meets specific legal criteria. It's there to protect those affected by war, making sure that even in the worst situations, some rules of humanity are respected.